Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. It is a Monday morning.
This does not strike me as a sexy romantic time, but okay.
Yeah, Monday mornings are not really a sexy romantic time.
You're the most famous person in the world.
Well, I beg to differ on that one.
Everyone's looking great. Nice and sexy.
That's right. We're looking great. We're looking nice and sexy this morning, that's for sure. 6:07 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. The time is 6:07. Mr. Clock, would you certify?
It's now 6:07 a.m.
That's right. As Mr. Clock says, it is 6:07. We are back in the saddle on a Monday after a fantastic weekend. Bonnie, how are you today?
I can't really complain. You know, I spent some time in Palm City yesterday and talking to some friendly people there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a gentleman on my table that told me the sad news that our Martin County Little Leaguers lost in their game.
Yeah.
And just by a single run. And, you know, but I told the gentleman, I said, you know, what a great time, what an exciting moment it was for our Palm City Little Leaguers to even make it where they did, and playing in a very big game, the World Series.
It was crazy, but I tell you what, man, my hat's off to that manager. He's just incredible. The way he talks to those kids, the way he nurtures those kids, loves on those kids, and treats those kids just like his very own.
It was really nice to have him on the air. I mean, you can tell that man's just quality. And yeah, you know, taking the kids to where he took them, you know, having to regroup the kids too after they're out like a whole season because of COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
getting them all together and, you know, the teamwork and the bonding and the teamwork and how they improved and, you know, the World Series, man. But it ended, though. It ended 1-0 against East Lake, I guess.
I want to play a short video clip of him talking to the kids right afterwards.
All right, and I will never forget the 13 of you
how they improved
and what we accomplished.
You know, the World Series, man.
All right,
but,
listen, make sure.
Give me a minute. Let me just share that on my page, and I'll flip it over here because it's doing what's called a backslap, so to speak, because we're running video at the same time. So
I love their uniforms. Look at the colorful uniforms. They remind me of our Miami Dolphins.
Yeah,
the same colors.
I think that's a very cool color.
Yeah, and the teal, the orange. You got the white lettering of the numbers on their jerseys.
Yep, for
They look
sure.
like little cool kids out there.
Let me find that right here. Give me 1 second. And here it is. Okay, so here's the manager after the loss speaking to the kids.
Love you guys. All right, and I will never forget the 13 of you and what we accomplished. All right, listen. Make sure you talk to your parents. They feel worse than we do. I love you guys, and I know they feel the same way. We'll get your heads up. We'll walk out of here high. Hands in. How about a group hug? I need a hug right now. Or I'm going to fall down. Group hug, guys. I love you guys, man. I love you so much. I love everything about you guys. Thank you for the greatest summer of baseball I've ever had in my life. And you guys too. All right, we'll be okay. All right, head held high. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's go. Good. Great job. Great job.
He cares so much about those kids. Just
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, he really does.
And if you listen very carefully, you could hear him getting emotional and his voice cracking just a little bit.
I liked what we asked him last week about how the kids, you know, these kids are like 12 and 13
Mm-hmm.
and how they were when they entered that big stadium and all the lights for the very first time.
Yeah.
And I think he was like, yeah, you could see the nervousness a little bit,
Yeah.
which is going to come.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that something really stood out. What he said, he goes, I love you guys and I will never forget the 13 of you and what we accomplished. Thank you for being thank you for the greatest summer of baseball I've ever had in my life.
It takes me back to high school sports and when I played basketball and like, you know, we would always want to make it to state, you know, and win the state championship.
Mm-hmm.
And when we would start getting in the playoffs and we started to win here and there. It seemed like we always went to maybe a bigger town or a bigger school to play.
Mhm.
And I remember, getting in some of those fancy gymnasiums too, when I was younger, and just playing on them.
Yeah.
And, the lights and the excitement and you get really frenzied over it.
Mhm.
I mean, you're like a nervousness to where like your heart starts flying right out of your chest.
Yeah. So what'd you do this weekend? Anything exciting?
My weekend was pretty normal.
Mhm.
Nothing to write home about.
No
but,
kids. You were kidless.
Yeah, shopped. I thrift shopped. I visited people in Port St. Lucie at their garage sales.
Oh, okay.
So I kept it kind of like in my own little neighborhood section, going
Okay.
out to shop. But I found some terrific items.
Mm,
Thrift shopping, I found some really cool clothes. The
okay.
deals were cool. I walked out with shoes, dress, shirts, and maybe they're so exciting. Maybe I'll wear them to work here
Really?
once or twice.
You
up
have
and
yet
coming.
to wear a dress to work.
I know.
Yet.
I'm so
I'm here almost 2 years with you.
Because I never wear a dress to work. I feel so uncomfortable for some reason when
Why?
I'm sitting here wearing a dress.
Jeez.
I don't know. Just like I like throwing on my jeans.
Okay.
This morning it's my scrubs.
Okay.
Because I got to go and massage.
Right. You're massaging. Mondays are massage days.
Just like to be colorful. I like the colors that you have on this morning.
Oh,
that shade of blue is.
It's like a tealish blue. I don't know.
It's like the sky to me.
I needed something to wake me up this morning. So
and it does wake you up. What even wakes you up more is that blazing orange shirt that you wear.
Oh yeah, that's the one that takes a battery pack to keep it blazing orange.
That's like the sun. We wouldn't even need our lights on in here. That's like the sunlit light in here.
Exactly.
Sunshine.
I had an eventful weekend. Saturday, my wife's BFF got married. Not got married. Her BFF's daughter got married, and it was a very unique marriage. We went all the way up to Melbourne, Florida. It was about 85 miles north of where I live, and I DJ'd the wedding, and it was on the beach. It was a beautiful wedding and very, very nice reception. But they did a little bit of a reveal at the wedding because the bride was pregnant and nobody knew.
Nobody knew?
It was a secret.
Well, I'm sure her mom or dad probably knew.
Well, the parents
and the groom.
knew. The parent. Oh, I would. If the groom didn't know, we're in deep crap trouble. That's all I gotta say.
Surprise!
That just wouldn't be good.
Surprise!
So anyway, she was hiding her little pooch very well, and when it came time to do the garter and the bouquet, let me set this up for you. At a wedding, the groom goes and takes the garter off of the bride's leg, and then they throw the garter and they throw the flowers, and then they do what's called the put back on. So the groom goes up and he takes off the garter, and instead of taking off the garter, he pulls out a onesie.
What's a onesie?
You don't know what a onesie is?
No. What the heck is that?
Okay. A onesie, hold on.
It sounds like
hard
a
to explain.
name of a boulder or something.
Hold on. Baby.
Or like a marble.
Onesie.
Pull out my onesie.
Okay.
I'll play you one on onesie.
This is what a onesie looks like. Right there. That's a onesie.
Oh, is that like a little or outfit for a baby?
It snaps at the crotch area, so you can change the diaper. You don't have to take it off.
Oh, really?
So that's what a onesie looks like.
Oh, okay. So it snaps wide open, and then you can pull that diaper off.
Right, pull the diaper right off.
Oh, okay, nice and convenient for if you have a little baby.
There's a whole boatload of pictures of onesies right there.
So he pulled out one of those.
So he pulled out a onesie instead, and on the onesie it said it's a girl. So of course I knew what was going on, so I just kind of played along with everything.
Oh, wow.
So we make the announcement at the wedding that they're having a baby and they're having a girl, and that was like really cool. That was a lot of fun. And then when it came time for the cake cutting, it was a food fight between the groom and the bride. That's what happens when you get a 19-year-old bride and a 24-year-old groom. Yeah, they just went at it.
Oh
They
my gosh,
just smashed
all-out
each other.
food fight.
Yeah, it was just a food fight.
Yeah, I remember my wedding way back when, and we just we didn't have a food fight, but we just delivered cake into one another's mouths.
Yeah.
You feed one another. And
I don't provoke cake smashing just because the bride's dress is usually so expensive, you don't want to get it dirty. Now, on the other hand, the groom, Well, the tuxedo is usually rented, so you
don't
care
want to
less.
ruin that tuxedo, though,
Well,
right?
you could get cake on it and all
Yeah.
that stuff because they're going to clean it anyway.
Chocolate
So
cake.
the rental's
what if it's
going
chocolate?
back. It don't
And that
matter. They
chocolate
dry clean
digs
it.
in.
They dry
Huh.
clean it, so it comes out brand new again.
What if they pour coffee on it or get coffee
They dry clean
stained?
it. They dry clean it. Everything comes out. They have all these different things to get stains out.
Did the bride get her dress dirty
No.
during this?
No, she was very careful. But boy, did she lace it into him. Oh, man, it was good. It was
Is she
good.
strong? Was she stronger than he is?
No, she's just a little frail little thing.
Yeah.
She's just a frail little thing.
Just like very feisty, though.
Let me see if I
that.
could bring up a picture real quick. I'll show you.
Was the crowd cheering when they brought up the baby reveal and you said it was going to be a girl? Did you get like a big woo? Ah,
it was kind of
yeah.
cool. It was cool. It was cool. So here is, let me see here. They had like what's called a flower boy. There's the bride right there. See? There she is right there.
She's very
Yeah,
pretty.
and you can't tell she's pregnant there.
Oh, you can't.
No, can't even tell.
She's not
She
even
hid it very well.
She could have if I were pregnant, I would be putting the flowers down below at my belly, and she has them up rather high. So her belly's revealed.
That's
no,
the
she
groom.
doesn't look pregnant.
That's the groom right there.
He looks like actually he reminds me of somebody that I know.
Oh, okay. And he's in the service. There's the onesie right there. See, it says, and then there were three.
Oh, it's a black onesie.
It's a black onesie with pink sparkly letters. It says, and then there were three, and then on the other side it says it's a girl.
Where was this wedding? Up in Sebastian?
Actually, yeah, it was like Sebastian, Melbourne area. Went all the way up to like exit 186, O'Galley Boulevard. And then just took that all the way like down to the end of the beach.
Oh yeah, beach wedding.
Yeah,
too.
beach wedding. So it was really nice.
And Rachel went too, of course.
Yeah, because it was her BFF.
Yeah.
That's Rachel's BFF right there on the right, and then there's the bride and the groom and the dad. So yeah, that's Rachel's BFF from long time ago.
Yeah, they've been friends for years.
Yeah,
Did they graduate high school together?
I think they went to school together also as well.
Yeah.
But I also did something at the wedding too that I haven't, Rachel never goes to weddings with me because we just don't mix business and pleasure. So this was like a rare occasion that she was with.
Yeah. So
we were playing and it kind of got a little awkward also that night because I have in my music, you're going to laugh at this one. I have in my music repertoire like 250,000 songs in my hard drive. So we were playing dance music and then I slowed it down and played a slow song. And the slow song I played was by, I think it was Mark Wills. No, it was Alison Krauss and Keith Whitley. When You Say Nothing at All.
Oh, that's a beautiful,
really
lovely
pretty song.
Yeah.
Well, it got awkward because that was Rachel's BFF's wedding song of her ex-husband and her.
Oh.
And the ex-husband was at the wedding.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
were they getting along? Are they civil?
They don't get along. No.
So you didn't see
No.
them sitting at a table with one another?
No, we got stuck with him at our table.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
That made
just
things
was-
a little bit awkward.
So
then?
so I play the song and Christine goes over to Rachel and says, this is really awkward. Of all the songs I could have played, I played her and her ex-husband's wedding
What
song.
if that song
That's just
reunited them?
But
and they would get up and start dancing.
No, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It just would. Trust me, it wouldn't happen. But the odds of that are 1 in 250,000. Honestly, 1 in 250,000.
That would be the song
That
you
would be
choose.
the song. So Christine comes up to me and she says, could you change the song? This was mine and Brad's wedding song. So I immediately changed it.
Yeah.
But the odds of that happening
Just like
are
a
1 in
needle in a
250,000. Yeah. It was strange. I smell your coffee, by the way.
Oh, do you?
No, leave it there. It smells good. I
Yeah.
told you, I love the smell of coffee. I do.
I really like it.
I love the
too,
smell of coffee.
I'm loving the taste. I got Folgers of this weekend.
Folgers in your cup.
They had a buy one get one of the Folgers at Publix this week, so I got a buy one get one. I like the medium dark lately.
Nice. So then later on in the night, I decided, all right, I'm going to do something and shock my wife.
And
So
what did
I
you do?
played our wedding song from 22 years ago,
Did she get up
which
and
is
dance
I
with
Crossed
you?
My Heart by George Strait. So as soon as I hit play, I come out from behind my little DJ stand and I point to her and I went like that. I gave her like that
sweet.
finger, like, come over here, you little sweetheart. So we danced.
That's
So we danced for like
sweet.
two minutes or so, and then she sat back down and I went back and did my thing. But that was kind of really cool. Just it was cool to have a like 2 minutes to dance my wedding song with my wife.
Because she doesn't come out with you to every
No,
wedding.
she never
That's
goes.
like
She
work.
never goes to a wedding. Never
Yeah.
goes to a wedding that I'm doing. We just have a professional thing that we just don't mix. We don't mix business and pleasure because you know. It is 6:22 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk. Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. In Port St. Lucie, a 39-year-old man was shot and killed Saturday night at his home off Kitterman Road, according to St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials. Marcus Davis Leith died after two men with guns entered his residence in the 6500 block of Las Palmas Way, east of US 1 in Port St. Lucie, and shot him inside his house, officials said. It's unknown what time the shooting occurred. St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputies and detectives believe the shooting was a targeted incident, officials said, so there's no danger to the public. Leith is listed as the house's owner on the St. Lucie County Property Appraiser's website. Investigators from the Sheriff's Crime Scene Unit were at the scene Sunday. Yellow crime scene tape surrounded the home with two vehicles remaining in the driveway. Three of the unit's vans were parked in the street. The dead-end road is lined with single-family homes. Security cameras are located on top of a pole at the street's entrance, but it's unknown if they're working. No further details about the slaying were available Sunday afternoon. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials at 772-462-3230 or Treasure Coast Crime 273-8477. Nearly 374,000 Treasure Coast residents, about 58% of the population, had been at least partially inoculated against COVID-19 through August 19, according to the Florida Department of Health's latest data. As unvaccinated patients fill local hospitals in record numbers, health officials urged the remainder of the community to get the vaccine as soon as possible, not only to protect themselves, but also others. All Floridians 18 and older became eligible for a shot April 5 per a March 26 executive order issued by Governor Ron DeSantis. Those 12 to 17 are eligible only for the Pfizer vaccine. Moderate to severely immunocompromised people, such as those with advanced HIV infection or who have received an organ transplant, are eligible for a second booster shot. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, these individuals must have received their first booster shot of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine at least 28 days prior. All Americans will be eligible for a second booster shot beginning the week of September 20, as long as at least 8 months have passed since their first booster, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services announced August 18. There are several locations to get vaccinated in Indian River, St. Lucie, and Martin counties like CVS, Publix, Walgreens, Walmart, Sam's Club, and Winn-Dixie. The Reverend Jesse Jackson and his wife Jacqueline have been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19. Doctors are currently monitoring the condition of both, read a statement from Jackson's Rainbow Push Coalition. There are no further updates at this time. We will provide updates as they become available. Conservative talk radio host Phil Valentine has died following a lengthy battle with COVID-19. He was 61 years old. His death was announced by Super Talk, WTN, on Saturday afternoon. Valentine had been battling the virus since at least July 11, when he confirmed on his Facebook page that he had been diagnosed with COVID-19. Valentine was a prominent voice on Nashville radio for decades. A 7th Florida school district is imposing a mask mandate on students. Leon County Superintendent Rocky Hanna says daily COVID positivity rates are more than double their highest daily number for last year. He asked Governor Ron DeSantis to reconsider his position.
Governor, just as you fight to protect the sovereignty of the state of Florida, we are simply asking you to have that same consideration for us.
Hannah says Leon County has seen almost 1/3 as many cases in the first 7 days of classes as it saw in all of the last school year. And lastly, this is the first day of school in Florida's largest school district. Miami-Dade Superintendent Alberto Carvalho says it will be the first time in over a year that 100% of students and employees will be allowed in the district's buildings, and they'll have to be wearing masks under a mandate voted board there. Martin County North Little League's magical summer had to come to an end eventually. On a night where the Palm City team played spectacularly, their opponent was just a bit better. East Lake Little League's Eli Jones threw a no-hitter to lead the Washington-based team to a 1-0 victory, ending Martin County's run in the Little League World Series at Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Jones struck out 5, walked 2, threw only 77 pitches, and to top things off, he drove in the only run of the game with an RBI single in the 5th inning. Our news time at 6:27 with weather and traffic together next.
6:28 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
As we bring up the latest traffic report, we are seeing one accident. It's on I-95 southbound in Port St. Lucie. This is at mile marker 121, I-95 southbound just before Crosstown Parkway, with no roadblock from that accident. If you see something, say something. Let us know at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. It's 76 in Port St. Lucie, also 76 in Verona, Italy this morning. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the upper 70s to low 80s under mostly clear skies and an isolated shower possible towards the coast. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, hazy skies and some inland showers and storms possible. Tomorrow through Thursday, highs in the low 90s, hazy skies, and low rain chances thanks to a plume of Saharan dust, which will continue to filter in throughout the week. Friday through the weekend, the dust backs off a little and rain chances increase slightly, staying in the low 90s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
6:33 on the Get Up and Go Show. It's the Monday morning edition with Evan and Bonnie, and it's time to do viral videos. All right, so this is a great video. I found it this morning. A woman went to a tanning bed, and she thought she was putting these protective stickers over her eyes. And I'm not going to say what they were. I'm just going to let the video and the audio, and Bonnie, you can observe this as well on video here.
Okay.
I'll let you observe it, and it's pretty funny.
Okay. Let her
So
do her
yesterday I was talking to one of my girlfriends.
Yeah, she has her hand over her
about
face.
Going to the tanning bed,
Okay.
and that I haven't been in a really, really long time. And she goes regularly. So she proceeds to tell me, things have probably changed a little bit since last time you went. So she gives me this little packet and she said, use this when you go to the tanning bed. I'm like, okay, I take it and I don't look into it or anything or asking questions. So when I get to the tanning bed, I open it, and inside the little packet, is like some wipes, like cleansing wipes. And there's also these 2 little stickers in there. So I look at it and I'm like, oh, okay. So they don't do goggles anymore in the tanning bed. They give you these stickers to make sure you don't open your eyes. So I put them on my eyes, lay in the tanning bed. I leave. And when I leave, the girl kind of looks at me a little funny, but doesn't say anything.
That's where it gets
So I get
good.
in my car, go home. Well, I'm one of these that I get even more red the longer time passes. Y'all,
Watch.
you just have to see. Y'all, they were pasties.
Pasties.
Oh my gosh.
Pasties.
Oh, no.
Now, pasties are not meant for your eyes. They're meant for your breast area.
I hope they're not used pasties. Boy, do I feel sorry for her if they're used.
Ooh, man. That was brutal.
Now, how did she get the hands on those pasties? Was the
Her friend gave them to her.
okay?
And she thought
It was to cover her
eyes.
Yeah.
So she didn't think nothing of it, put them on her eyeballs,
Uh-huh.
and voila. When technically they're supposed to cover your nipple area on your breasts when you go into a tanning bed if you're tanning nude or topless.
And she puts them in the wrong
She didn't know
area.
any better, so she put them on her eyeballs.
I like the little, it looks like they made little flower
It looked like
images.
clovers.
Yeah, like 4-leaf
Yeah.
clovers or something.
Yeah, that was hysterical.
That's cute, and I like her sweet little voice and that accent that she had.
She had a great attitude about it.
She does.
She wasn't mad at all. There's another video out there. It's a competitive eater by the name of Raina Huang, who conquered a 10-pound burrito. The 10-pound burrito challenge at Tacos La Chula in Orange, Texas. They say if you can eat the whole thing in an hour, your meal is free. Absolutely free. All right, listen in.
I arrived in the city of Orange, Texas. I am standing outside.
Wait till you see the
Taco
size
Bell
of this
to try
bad boy,
out
Bonnie.
the Gusto Burrito Challenge. So I am going for win number overall win number 503.
503.
Ready to eat some burritos? Let's go inside this place and check it out.
She's a tiny little girl, too.
Yeah, she's a little pistol.
She's really cute.
All right, let me go forward here.
Over there. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I totally didn't
Now,
know
other
that.
people are inside attempting to eat the burrito.
Yeah.
Now, here comes hers. Look at the size of that bad boy, Bonnie.
That has to be at least, 3
It's 10
feet?
pounds.
4 feet long?
Woo! All right.
She's the frail little thing.
This is like a 3 or 4 foot burrito, I swear.
It's 3 feet long. They give her gloves and everything. All right, here she goes. So she's going to town on this burrito.
Wow, look at her go.
All right, she's literally, she's
like a professional eater now.
she is.
Isn't she?
She's a
she gets in
professional
those
eater.
contests.
Right, so
Man.
now they speed it up a little bit. Okay, they put it in fast motion because we're not going to sit here. Okay, now again, they say if you can eat this bad boy in 60 minutes or less, your meal is free. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you see what she's doing here. Okay. She's still going. She's 5.5 minutes in, and she's got over half of it gone. All right. And she's going and going and going and going.
Good gosh, where is she putting all that?
Right.
There's like big guys in there, like really
Right.
big fellas in
Look
back
at that.
of her. And those
9 minutes and 4 seconds.
9 minutes. And those big fellas in back of her, they probably can't even do that.
No. No.
I mean, you got to get John Candy in there, though. Oh, John Candy, rest your soul.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in, was it the movie The Great Outdoors?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, where he ate the 96er. It was like a huge steak.
Yep.
Right on that note, too. And if you ate all the steak, you would get the meal for free for your entire family.
There's lots of places that do eating challenges where they give you copious amounts of food, and if you can eat it in a certain amount of time, it's for free.
Yep. And, and like they did in The Great Outdoors, if you can do it, you should be able to eat your whole family or feed your whole family for free that
I was
night.
gonna say, not eat your whole family, feed your whole family. Exactly. So going back to the weekend, because I ran out of time when I was telling you earlier, I also did a thing on Sunday.
Oh, what did you do?
I did a thing on Sunday.
Did you do something new?
Yeah, well, I bought something, and there it is right
let's
there.
See.
That's what I bought. That's it.
You bought the scooter.
I bought the scooter.
Oh,
there it
that's
is.
Nice.
There it is. I went and bought it, went up and got it.
Oh, yeah.
Brought it back.
Look at that. It's
Yep.
nice and big.
Mhm.
A nice big scooter.
Yeah.
You can kind of like ride around on. Does
Mhm.
Rachel want to ride it too?
Well,
She going to take it for a spin?
I'm going to get it registered today. So I'm going to get the tag and everything today when I get off the air.
Right on.
But I brought it home and I had it in the driveway. I pulled it out of the trailer, just took it around the block once.
Yeah.
And she comes home from the grocery store, and the first thing she says, I want to try the scooter.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh boy.
It looks rideable.
You
like,
don't
I
know.
would like to get on
but
it
see,
too.
the thing is, you don't understand Rachel. I love my wife to death. I do. But she's also clumsy. And this is probably her calling right now. Good morning. You're on the air. Hello? Wait, there we go. Okay. Hello. Good morning. You're on the air.
It is your wife calling.
Yes. Now, my wife will admit she is clumsy, correct?
Absolutely.
She knows it. Okay, Rachel is the only girl that most people fall downstairs. When we lived in Green Acres, she fell upstairs.
How do you fall upstairs?
Don't ask.
It's like
She's
in
the
reverse.
only one that can do this. Trust me.
Oh my gosh.
She's the only person in God's green earth that can fall upstairs. I love her to death. So when she asked me to ride this scooter yesterday, I prayed to Jesus like you have no idea.
So did you take her out for a spin, Rachel?
I did.
And you got to tell your husband that you got to say, I'm clumsy, not drunk. I can ride this scooter, darn it.
Well, I wasn't even very short either, just because I lack balance.
Yeah, I told you she's very clumsy. I love her, and again, I preface it. I love my wife to no end, and she will. It's the one thing that she will agree with me on. Well, very rarely that she is clumsy, and I say it with hugs and love and everything, and she knows I'm just teasing.
So did you ride it around the block?
She did.
Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
I did.
Yep.
And I managed to stay upright.
Good for
Yeah,
excellent.
she stayed upright.
Yeah.
I was watching the clock to see, and I'm waiting for her and waiting, and took a little longer than I thought. So I'm like, all right, do I need to call the police? Do I need to get in my car? Did she fall? And then all of a sudden I hear the scooter coming down the road. And here comes Rachel.
How fast does that scooter go?
I got it up to like 25
She got up to
because I was
25.
just trying to push the speed a little bit just to see how comfortable I was.
Yeah, but around those local blocks, that's 25. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got a maximum speed of 35 miles an hour.
Excellent.
So yeah, it does. So it's just something that I bought on a whim, something to have just to tool around the neighborhood. Maybe I'm probably gonna ride it to church on Sunday.
Nice.
Gavin says I better leave at 6 a.m. because it may take me a while to get there. At 35 miles, 30 miles an hour.
I bet you can't wait to get home just to get on it and play with it for a while.
Well,
when you get a new toy,
Yeah.
don't you just want to work it?
Yeah, exactly. And then
I think next up we should get a golf cart.
Oh God. Well, those are a little more expensive, about $5,000-$6,000. Go ahead, say it. So
in time.
Do you see people riding around your neighborhood?
Golf
like
cart's
in
a
the
cool
golf
thing.
carts?
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah.
do see people in golf carts riding around.
I'm always afraid, like when I go through, it's Westmoreland in Port St. Lucie. I always go extra slow and I watch out. I'm afraid they're going to come dodging out in the middle of the nowhere. I don't want to hit one.
Yeah. And then I told Bonnie about how I played our wedding. I told Bonnie the story about I played Chrissy's her and her ex-husband's wedding song, and that it was like just really awkward.
Yeah. Just a tad bit.
I heard you had a lovely dance though, Rachel.
I did.
Oh, that just melted my heart when Evan said that. Was that the last dance of the evening?
No, it was about halfway through. Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah, we haven't danced in that. God, I can't even remember how long it's been since her and I danced together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool though.
Yeah.
It was a moment. It was a special moment. It really was.
It was.
It was very special.
Did it bring tears to your eyes?
Brought tears to my eyes. Yep, I'll admit it. I'm a wuss. It brought tears to my eyes. I cried the drop of a pin. You could just go boo and I'll cry.
Doesn't it make it such a good Monday, though, when you have such a good weekend? Isn't Monday all that much better after you come off of a good weekend like you did?
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. Did some grocery shop. Rachel went to the grocery store yesterday, picked up a couple $100 worth of food.
Wow.
Yeah.
I brought home ribs last night from Winn-Dixie. They had them in their deli already made.
Now, do you get? Oh, so they were already done.
Hot and
cooked
fresh when I brought them home.
We usually get the what do we get? The country fried rib, the country style ribs, and we cook them from scratch.
I've never cooked ribs before.
Get with Rachel; she'll tell you how to do it.
That's why I bought them hot,
Yeah,
already made.
Raquel will tell you how to do it.
Call my dad.
Yeah, we do it Tennessee style.
Speaking of Tennessee, did your dad was he around any of that flash flooding that went on?
He was not. He said where he was, they didn't really get a lot of rain, but he knew, and he said in central Tennessee, he said he had heard that there was a lot of rain and a lot of flooding.
Yeah, that was just really, really bad. Some people and kids even missing in that flood. I think a guy had been holding his twins to some sort.
Oh, yikes.
The rains, let's see if I was looking at it here. I think the rains came up and knocked his young twins, his toddlers got swept from his arms right in the middle of it.
Well, there was a video of Loretta Lynn's ranch, and all it looks like is just nothing but like a river of water coming down through it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Some of these images from it this morning they're just hideous, man. Just hideous.
Crazy stuff. All right, kiddo, we got to run. We got to get to news. Have a marvelous day, and I will talk at you later.
Okay, love you.
Love you too, hon. Bye-bye. It is 6:47 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. All brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. For the best deals in town on any type of precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Bonnie is standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Miss Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Investigators in Palm Beach County are looking into the shooting death of a teenager who was discovered in the back of a pickup that sped from Lake Worth Beach to Hobe Sound on Friday night, officials said. The high-speed pursuit ended after 9:40 p.m. on County Road 714 when a Martin County Sheriff's Office pickup conducted a pit maneuver, turning sideways in front of a vehicle to make it stop. on the fleeing vehicle. Martin County Sheriff William Snyder said the incident began in the 4900 block of Kirk Road in Lake Worth when a 911 caller told a Palm Beach County dispatcher that someone had been shot and killed and two people were dragging the body to a canal. Officials there said. As deputies responded, the caller told dispatchers the pair had instead put the body in the bed of a gray Ford F-150 and fled the scene. Authorities in Palm Beach notified the Martin County Sheriff's Office as the pickup traveled north on Interstate 95. Snyder said his deputies deployed stop sticks, but the Ford driver, speeding at more than 100 miles per hour, avoided the devices. However, about a dozen other vehicles, including some sheriff's cruisers, struck the sticks, Snyder said. The sheriff's office will pay the cost for the punctured tires, he said. The pickup exited on CR 714 where it was stopped. Deputies found the driver, a female passenger, and the dead body. Martin County deputies identified the driver as 17-year-old Carlos Castaneda. The names of the passenger and the dead teen in the bed of the truck were not released on Saturday. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is no longer single.
The Northwest Florida Republican describes himself on his Twitter page as a firebrand, a Florida man, and just added, happy husband. Gaetz and fiancée Ginger Lucky got married in a private ceremony on California's Catalina Island. He shared pictures on Twitter after Vanity Fair broke the story. Gaetz remains under investigation in connection with former Seminole County tax collector Joel Greenberg, who pled guilty to charges including sex trafficking and is cooperating with federal prosecutors. I'm Gordon Bird.
In Nashville, Tennessee, at least 21 people were dead and dozens remained missing Sunday after record-shattering downpours triggered flooding across parts of the state. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis confirmed the death toll and said 25 to 30 people were missing. Among those killed were twin toddlers swept from their father's arms, according to surviving relatives. Public Information Officer Gray Collier said hundreds of homes may be uninhabitable. The flooding took out roads. The hardest hit area saw double the rain that area of Middle Tennessee had in the previous worst case scenario for flooding, meteorologists said. Waverly business owner Kansas Klein told the Associated Press that a housing area known as Brookside apparently suffered the most damage from the floods. In Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Haiti's Civil Protection Agency said Sunday that the toll from this month's magnitude 7.2 earthquake has grown to 2,207, with 340 people still missing. The agency said via Twitter that 12,268 people were injured and nearly 53,000 houses were destroyed by the August 14 quake. The new toll comes at a time when relief operations are expanding, but authorities are struggling with security at distribution points. Gangs have hijacked aid trucks and desperate crowds have scuffled over bags of food. Well, lastly, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he has tested negative for COVID-19 just 4 days after testing positive. I'm told that my infection was brief and mild because of the vaccination that I received, Abbott said in a video clip posted on his Twitter account on Saturday. So I encourage others who have not yet received the vaccination to consider getting one. The Tampa Bay Bucks are taking precautions after a recent COVID diagnosis. Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel announced yesterday he tested positive for the virus. The Titans and Bucks held joint practices last week in Tampa ahead of Saturday's preseason game. Our news time is 6:52. We have weather and traffic together next.
6:53 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Well, one accident is what we're seeing. It's on I-95 southbound this morning in Port St. Lucie. This at mile marker 121 before you hit Crosstown Parkway, and there's not any roadblock from that accident. Here in Martin County, the roads are nice and clear on a Monday morning, and there's your latest look at traffic. Stewart, we have 78, and in Southfield, Michigan, it's 71. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the upper 70s to low 80s under mostly clear skies and an isolated shower possible towards the coast. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, hazy skies, and some inland showers and storms possible. Tomorrow through Thursday, highs in the low 90s, hazy skies, and low rain chances thanks to a plume of Saharan dust, which will continue to filter in throughout the week. Friday through the weekend, the dust backs off a little and rain chances increase slightly, staying hot and humid, though, with highs in the low 90s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the biggest little radio show on the biggest little planet, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie.
They could be in there sleeping right now. You know, what do I know?
No roaming from town to town like the fugitive. This guy just stays put.
I mean, that is ridiculously ruthless.
New this fall, the squatter.
And that guy should go to jail.
He spent 27 years in a cabin in the woods and hasn't paid rent once.
We got cameras that we're putting up.
Will the authorities remove him from his New Hampshire hideout? The squatter.
Free ride's over.
Or is it just beginning?
Coming soon to CBS.
You ever heard about squatters, Bonnie?
Yes, I've heard of them before.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, we have a call from Gary Busey,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a squatter in a movie that I saw a long time ago. It was called Hider in the House.
Yes.
And he was living up in somebody's attic. So, could you imagine if you're listening late at night and you hear little footsteps up above?
Imagine if it was Gary Busey up in your attic, huh? That would be interesting.
That would be kind of scary.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Gary Busey calls the program every now and then, so maybe he'll call into us later today. Who knows? Anything's possible.
It could be. We're going to hear from Dr. John Millay a little bit
Boy,
later,
you just
too.
read my mind.
did I?
was just going to say that.
Oh, my gosh.
That's scary. We're on the same page this early in the morning.
It's lovely to hear from him each and every week, giving us that Martin County school update.
Yeah, definitely. So want to find out what the COVID situation is like in the Martin County school system as well. So our listeners know exactly what's going on, how the whole mask thing is going on, because, you know, all these different counties are taking it now upon themselves, and they're going against the governor's orders as far as the masks go.
That's right. And, you know, there's high emotion on either side of the story, whether you want to send the kids to school in masks or you don't want your kids going to school in masks. The emotions are high on that now.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I think it should be left up to the parents. If you're responsible enough, let the parent decide, like the governor said, and then kind of go from there, you know?
Yeah, you don't want government coming in and muscling parents over their kids.
Exactly.
I sure wouldn't like that either.
Exactly. Hey, we're going to step back for a moment. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
And a top of the morning to you and yours on this Monday morning, August 23rd, 2021.
How are you feeling now? What line of work are you in?
I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm what's called a radio broadcast aficionado.
May I have your attention, please?
Yes, you may.
Does anybody mind if I turn on my radio?
Yes, go ahead and turn it on and crank it up nice and loud so you can hear us. It's 7:07 this morning. Mr. Clock, would you certify?
It's now 7:07 a.m.
7:07 a.m. And Bonnie, we are off and running at warp speed for a Monday morning.
Yes, we are. And, I'll fire it up about this work week, too, where, boy, next Monday, just think you and I will not be sitting here. We will be sitting at home.
In bed. That's right.
No, we're not going to do the show, from home in bed.
No.
But we're going to, have that morning off with G and Ray Thomas fire up this radio station while we get a nice morning off next week to
actually the next
relax.
2 Mondays in a row.
Yeah.
We're going to be off.
Because 2 Mondays.
I've got a wedding.
Now.
I've got a wedding next Sunday, very late in Fort Lickerdale.
Lickerdale?
Yes,
you call
Fort
it?
Lickerdale is what I call it. So I will not be getting home till probably 1:32 in the morning on a Sunday night. So the Carol and Greg have been very gracious to give us both Monday morning off next week. And then the following Monday is Labor Day. And it's our turn. It's our turn to be off.
Can you imagine that? So Labor Day is our turn to be off. And I guess our turn to be back on then would be the next exciting holiday, which would be Thanksgiving.
Right?
So,
because our sister station's off.
Yep. Thanksgiving, we will be on the air right here on your airwaves, talking turkey to you.
And then September 6th through the 17th. September 6th, which is a Friday. And then September 10 is let me see, Friday. I'm sorry, not September 6th. September 10th. Yeah, September 10th, which is a Friday. We're going to be a blended show. And then September 13th through 17 will be a blended show, as well as G is going to be on a hiatus.
And so is Ray. Looks like Ray is going to take an exciting week off too.
Yeah,
so we're going to be all blended and
lots of good stuff.
Talking to our friends up in Fort St. Lucie and the Fort Pierce area.
Yeah, definitely
during that week.
Definitely so, without a doubt. Let's do some birthdays.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
As you mentioned before, today's date, August 23rd, 2021. If you're born August 23rd, happy birthday to you. Bonnie, what do you have?
Just, I guess, happy birthday to Rick Springfield today, who everybody knows.
Oh, my gosh. I've done everything for you.
Dr. Noah Drake is turning 72 today.
Oh,
yes.
my gosh. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Jesse's Girl. He's got so many hits. I was a Rick Springfield nerd back in the day, in the 80s, and I went and saw him at the Orange County Convention Center. And man, was he good.
Yeah. What year did you see him in?
Oh, geez. You wouldn't ask me that.
That's okay.
Let me think. Give me a minute.
I'm going to guess and say it was 84.
You're close. It was like 83, 84. Yeah, right in that area. Yeah.
I remember my cousin playing. He had the 45 record in his bedroom, like when I was visiting my cousins. And he kept playing Jesse's Girl like over and over and over again. I could hear him through the doorway, and the song would stop and then he'd play it again.
Yeah.
He must have just really loved that song.
Great tune. Kobe Bryant passed away in 2020, celebrating a birthday in the heavens today. Got to mention him. He is literally probably the GOAT.
That was 1 year ago today.
Yeah.
With that incident.
No, not that he died a year ago today. Today's his birthday.
Oh, today would be Kobe's birthday.
Would be Kobe's birthday. He was born in 78. So it's 88, 98, 08, 18, 19, 20, 20. He'd be 43 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Gone way too soon.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Gone way too soon.
You bet. And that beautiful wife and, family that he leaves behind.
Yeah. Jeremy Lin is 33. That's the Asian American basketball player who came out of nowhere to become an NBA star. Skylar Gordy is 35. That's Barry Gordy's grandson and Sky Blue in LMFAO. Now, we all know who that is. Those are the people that do Party Rock is in the house.
Oh yeah.
Very, very popular
Yeah.
song. And
Yeah.
I'm sexy and I know it. That's I'm not me saying that I'm sexy and I know it, but that's just the name of the song.
Those are like really fun songs, both
Great
of them.
tunes. Great tunes.
Can get up and dance to them both for sure.
Jamie Lee Kirshner is 40 years old today.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jamie Lee Curtis.
Nope. Jamie Lee
Kirshner.
Kirshner, 40 years old today. That's the lead investigator. Danny James on Bull. Joanne Frogat is 41 years old today. That's Anna on Downtown Abbey. Julian Casablancas is 43. That's the lead singer of The Strokes and The Voids. Scott Caan is 45. That's Dano on Hawaii Five-0. And Scott Lavin on Entourage. Ray Park is 47. Jay Moore is 51. That's Bob Sugar and Jerry Maguire. Shelley Long, 72 years old today. Diane Chambers on Cheers.
I thought she was just magnificent when, as Diane Chambers on Cheers. And, the scenes that she had with Sam on that show were just like, that was pure enjoyment for comedy.
Yep.
And it was just grandiose, I thought. She did an excellent job.
Rudy Rudiger is 73. That's the real life inspiration for the movie Rudy. Richard Sanders is 81. That's Les Nessman on WKRP Cincinnati.
Oh, Les,
yes.
The one with the glasses.
Yes.
Right?
Great actor.
How old is he today?
He's 81.
81.
Yeah,
yes.
here's an even better one. Okay. Jeannie from I Dream of Jeannie, the one and only Barbara Eden.
She's still alive?
90 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought she had passed by now. Barbara Eden.
Barbara Eden.
And oh man, everybody just
I wonder
really
what she looks
fell
like
in
today.
love with her with I Dream of Jeannie. Oh, she was in those scenes with J.R. Ewing, the guy from Dallas.
Yep.
Used to play on that too.
Good looking girl. Really, really good actress. Celebrating birthdays in the heavens, Jimmy Jameson. That is the Survivor lead singer. The lead singer of Survivor did songs like High of the Tiger. How about Eye of the Tiger? High on You, The Search is Over, I Can't Hold Back, and Burning Heart.
Yeah, those were some good 1980s songs too, particularly Eye of the Tiger. That would get everybody full of energy.
Celebrating a birthday in the heavens, also the one and only Keith Moon. Passed away in 78. That's the drummer from The Who. River Phoenix passed away in 93. That's Chris Chambers in Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah, and he passed much too soon, too. River.
Gene Kelly passed away in 96. The Magnificent Dancer. Gene Kelly. Bonnie, today is National Health Unit Coordinators Day. Without them, hospitals would be unable to navigate even the most basic health care tasks. So make sure and thank a healthcare unit coordinator today. Also, it's National, this is good. You're going to like this one, Bonnie. It's National Sponge Cake Day.
Sponge cake?
National Sponge Cake.
Why do I like a sponge cake?
Oh,
that
man.
doesn't turn me on at all, actually.
You don't like sponge cake?
I don't even know if I've ever had sponge cake.
Really?
Does it taste, is it kind of spongy, like a spongy texture?
Oh, man. Sponge cake is like, wow. Especially if you top it off. Well, here, I have something to play in honor of National Sponge Cake Day.
Today is the day of your favorite pastry.
National Sponge Cake.
Fill it with cream and it's a Twinkie.
National Sponge Cake.
Some people eat them until they are sick.
National Sponge Cake.
If that's all you eat, then you'll die really quick.
National Sponge Cake.
National Sponge Cake.
National Sponge Cake.
National Sponge Cake. National Sponge Cake Day.
That is a great parody. I
That
got to
is.
tell you what, I got to give those folks, got to tip my hat to those folks that did that.
A lot of fun. Too
Yeah.
bad we couldn't be enjoying the sponge cake while listening to it.
Sponge cake is really good, especially if you put the key to enjoying sponge cake, in my humble opinion, is putting a topping on it, like strawberries. Fresh strawberries and some strawberry sauce.
Is it like a Twinkie then?
It's just like it's like a Twinkie without the
equivalent-
cream in the middle.
Yeah. See, I'm not too crazy about it. I'm not like a huge Twinkie fan either.
Oh, I love Twinkies.
Yeah.
Now they make the Twinkies with more than just the white inside.
Uh-huh.
They make them like with strawberry filling and
You see
custard
them everywhere.
filling. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Twinkies and Little Debbie's. Those are the kind of snacks, though, that I just
Yeah.
tend to pass up. And I'm, like I'm thankful that I do, because they just seem like they've got so many preservatives
Yeah.
and not very good for you.
Now, since we're talking about food, this really resonates good because, man, let me tell you, I think I might just have to go get me one today. I got to find somewhere where I can get one. Now, it's National Cuban Sandwich Day.
What when I hear Cuban sandwich,
Mhm.
I get confused. Like,
Okay.
what is in a Cuban?
Okay, it's a delectable blend of ham, cheese, pork, and mustard.
Oh, ham, and it's got what kind of pork? Like a soft pork?
Well, pork
or
is pork is pork.
So
I don't know if it's pulled or if it's sliced pork. I'm not sure.
ham and
But
pork.
it's ham,
so
pork, mustard, and cheese. And I have had a Cuban sandwich before, and it is so, Bonnie, you have got to try it. It's
but
so
is
good.
that all it is? Like, there's not salami in it?
Nope.
Like, I always, when I think of Cuban, I think of an Italian sub right away,
Mhm.
which is far from true, right?
Yes, very far from that.
So Cubans
But
got
it's a Cuban sandwich. It's called a Cuban sandwich, and it's got the ham, the pork, the cheese, and the mustard. And I swear, if somebody were to bring me a Cuban sandwich right now, I would pay big time.
Really?
Oh yeah. Now I'm craving a Cuban sandwich.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there and wants to bring us a Cuban sandwich, Bonnie and I will split it and eat it right on the air.
Yeah, I would like to try it. I mean,
Mhm.
seriously, I don't, it's like I should have had one. I'm in Florida. I know they're everywhere,
Mhm.
but I'm not really up to snuff on these.
They're very popular down in the Miami area.
Oh,
down
I know.
very, very popular down in Miami. Yeah. You can get
Yeah.
an awesome Cuban sandwich down in Miami.
Do they sell them like on every corner down in Miami? Kind of much like
Just about.
like the Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah,
you got
just about.
In Philly, you got the Philly cheesesteak on every corner.
Yeah, that's what Philly is known for. That their
Yep.
Philly cheesesteak.
But I bet down in the Miami area,
Mhm.
you've probably got Cuban shops like on every corner selling these.
A lot of sandwich
I'm
shops
almost
down
sure.
in Miami. A lot of sandwich shops sell the Cuban sandwiches.
They're popular here too on the Treasure Coast. I mean, I see them here and there.
Yeah, you'll
but I'm
run
just
into
not-
places that sell them. If you go to like the fairs and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
you can get a great Cuban sandwich at like a fair, county fair or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like the St. Louis County Fair or the South Florida Fair. They sell them there also as well.
Mhm.
It's National Heroes Day. Filipinos celebrate and honor the known and unknown heroes of the Philippine Revolution. So we say Happy National Heroes Day to our Filipino friends. And lastly, it's National Cheap Flight Day. Hopefully you folks out there mark your calendars for Cheap Flight Day today well in advance, because today is the day. If you want to book airline flights, this is the day that you're going to
Wow.
get them at the lowest.
Today
It's
is
National
the
Cheap
day
Fare
to
Day.
fly.
Yes,
Mhm.
National Flight Day. Cheap Flight Day. I'm sorry. So book your airline reservations on this date.
And we were excited to bring that new story out that last week with Allegiant, at least was it out of St. Petersburg, where they're flying travelers to Key West.
Mhm.
And Evan and I were talking last week that we hope this would spread. Wouldn't it be cool if Allegiant came like down to West Palm Beach?
If Allegiant were to fly out of West Palm to Key West,
Yeah.
I would be very happy.
You would pay like a couple of $100 too, like round trip for it, wouldn't you, Evan? Even at that price. I think
Allegiant-
it would be worth it.
I wonder if maybe it's like if you get on in Palm Beach and then it flies you up to where is it that it's going out of Tampa or something like that?
I think it was St.
PEI.
Pete.
Is it St. Pete?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if they have a Key West in here. HIJ. Oh no, it doesn't go to Key West. So it's from St. Petersburg, is what you're saying. I wonder how much it would cost.
Usually those Allegiant flights are not too costly. I know I flew out of Orlando Sanford to go up to Wisconsin one year, and I think it was, good gosh, it might have only been like $70 one way.
Really?
It wasn't, it wasn't bad at all. I think
Okay.
to pay for Topanga and me, really, I think it came to maybe $180 at the most for both of us to fly.
Okay, so I'm looking at leaving on November 22nd, coming back on the 24th from Tampa to Key West. I'll tell you exactly how much it's going to cost you. It's bringing it up right now. I'm just curious. That's not bad. 77 bucks going,
Yeah.
and $98 coming back. So for $175, it's round trip.
I would pay that,
Yeah.
rather, I've driven down to Key West before.
Mhm.
Can get down there in like 5 hours.
That's
I think
a
one time
long haul.
One time we got down there in 4, but we were heading out early morning.
So
to
you would
beat the traffic.
you'd rather pay the $175 than drive the 5 hours?
I would try it. I would do it.
Yeah, I would do it too. Because man, that 5-hour drive is very monotonous. Extremely. Very, very monotonous.
It can be.
Mhm.
Yeah. Especially like if you're in back-to-back traffic, coming out of there like on just a 2-lane highway.
Oh yeah, definitely so. 7:22 on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news once again. Bonnie is standing by at the news desk with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning once again. Well, nearly 374,000 Treasure Coast residents, about 58% of the population, had been at least partially inoculated against COVID-19 through August 19, according to the Florida Department of Health's latest data. As unvaccinated patients fill local hospitals in record numbers, health officials urged the remainder of the community to get the vaccine as soon as possible, not only to protect yourself, but also others. All Floridians 18 and older became eligible for a shot April 5 per a March 26 executive order issued by Governor Ron DeSantis. Those 12 to 17 are eligible only for the Pfizer vaccine. Moderate to severely immune-non-compromised people, such as those with advanced HIV infection or who have received an organ transplant, are eligible for a second booster shot, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. These individuals must have received their first booster shot of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine at least 28 days prior. All Americans will be eligible for a second booster shot. That begins the week of September 20, as long as at least 8 months have passed since their first booster, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services announced on August 18th. Now, some places you can go to get vaccinated in Indian River, St. Lucie, and Martin counties, they do include CVS, Publix, the Walgreens, your local Walmarts, Sam's Club, and Winn-Dixie. The Reverend Jesse Jackson and his wife, Jacqueline, have been hospitalized after they tested positive for COVID-19. Doctors are currently monitoring the condition of both. I read a statement from Jackson's Rainbow Push Coalition. There are no further updates at this time. We will provide updates as they do become available. Funeral services are being held today in Daytona Beach for a fallen police officer, Jason Rayner. He died last week after being shot in the head while on duty 2 months ago. A 7th Florida school district is imposing a mask mandate on students. Leon County Superintendent Rocky Hanna says daily COVID positivity rates are more than double their highest daily number for last year. He asked Governor Ron DeSantis to reconsider his position.
Governor, just as you fight to protect the sovereignty of the state of Florida, we are simply asking you to have that same consideration for us.
A 39-year-old man was shot and killed Saturday night at his home off Kitterman Road, according to St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials. Marcus Davis Leith died after 2 men with guns entered his residence in the 6500 block of Las Palmas Way, east of US 1 in Port St. Lucie, and shot him inside his house, officials said. It's unknown what time the shooting occurred. St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputies and detectives believe the shooting was a targeted incident. Officials said there's no danger to the public. Leith is listed as the house's owner on the St. Lucie County Property Appraiser's website. Investigators from the Sheriff's Crime Scene Unit were at the scene Sunday. Yellow crime scene tape surrounded the home with 2 vehicles remaining in the driveway. 3 of the unit's vans were parked in the street. The dead-end road is lined with single-family homes. Security cameras are located on top of a pole at the street's entrance, but it's unknown if they're working. No further details about the slaying were available Sunday afternoon. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials at 772-462-4662 3230 or Treasure Coast Crime Stoppers at 800-273-8477. In westerly Rhode Island, Tropical Storm Henry weakened into tropical depression Sunday night as it crawled over the Northeast and continued to unleash downpours over a region already saturated by heavy rain and wind and knocked out power to over 100,000 homes, closed bridges, and left people stranded in their vehicles. Henry made landfall Sunday on the coast of Rhode Island, and the National Hurricane Center warned that the slow-moving storm would continue dumping heavy rains on wide swaths of the region. The storm was downgraded from a hurricane before reaching New England, leaving many to breathe a sigh of relief. There were few early reports of major damage due to wind or surf. Lastly, Mike Richards stepped down as the Jeopardy host on Friday. This comes shortly after people dug up his 2013 podcast where he made sexist, racist, anti-Semitic, and body-shaming comments. Mike said, quote, "It has become clear that moving forward as host would be too much of a distraction for our fans and not the right move for the show. He will stay on as an executive producer, and the 5 episodes that he already taped for the new season will still air." Ryan Blaney needed a push to pass William Byron on Sunday. Kyle Busch provided the boost. With Busch's help, Blaney took the lead on the final restart, then bobbed and weaved his way around Michigan International Speedway to beat Byron by 0.077 seconds. It was the narrowest victory margin in a cup race at this track since electronic scoring began. News time is 7:28 with weather and traffic together next.
$7:29 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Well, we've been seeing an accident. This is on I-95 southbound in Port St. Lucie at mile marker 121. There's not a tie-up from this accident, so traffic up to speed, really getting through there right now. Martin County, we take a look at the major highways. We're not finding any accidents right here. Everything moving quite nicely, including on U.S. Highway 1. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 78 right now in Stuart, and in Espoo, Finland, it's 56. Here's our weather from WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the upper 70s to low 80s under mostly clear skies and an isolated shower possible towards the coast. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, hazy skies, and some inland showers and storms possible. Tomorrow through Thursday, highs in the low 90s, hazy skies, and low rain chances thanks to a plume of Saharan dust, which will continue to filter in throughout the week. Friday through the weekend, the dust backs off a little and rain chances increase slightly, staying hot and humid though with highs in the low 90s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
This is not headline news. Britney Spears is accused of striking her housekeeper. On the bright side, it's her first hit in a decade. After calling coronavirus vaccines a scam, the singer of Right Said Fred was hospitalized with COVID. Hopefully, he's not too sexy for a ventilator.
So sexy, it hurts.
Mike Richards has stepped down as host of Jeopardy for making disparaging comments about women. Although women have not apologized for how many comments they made about how hot he was when he began filling in. One of the producers of The Young and the Restless is being sued for sexual harassment. His excuse? It wasn't him. It was his evil twin. And the Minnesota Renaissance Festival is back without COVID restrictions. Because what could be more authentic than a real-life plague? This is not headline news.
From not headline news to the stupid stuff.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
You know, I love reading bank robbery stories because those are really good, especially when you get a stupid bank robber.
That's a stupid thing to do to begin with.
Yeah.
So, these people are already stupid taking
Yeah.
a chance like that.
Well, there's a 67-year-old man in England named Alan Slattery who decided to get into the bank robbing business last week. And his first stop was a complete bust. He handed over a note to the teller, but they couldn't even read his poor handwriting. So he left empty-handed.
Oh, no, his handwriting was so bad.
It was
that
so bad they couldn't even read the note.
They're like, what are you trying to tell us?
Mhm.
Didn't they have a clue that he was trying to rob them? I mean, why do you usually hand a bank teller a note?
Well, later on, the employees all huddled together and they figured it out. And it said, quote, "Your screen won't stop what I've got. Just hand over the $10 bills and $20 bills," meaning the protective screen that's there. And he was insinuating that he had a gun. Now, think about the other customers. It's unclear if the screen was a permanent anti-theft fixture or if it was more temporarily anti-COVID related.
Oh,
So he wrote a legible note at bank number 2 and got away with $3,000. He also hit up bank number 3, but the teller refused to comply. The cops caught him, and he was arrested and pleaded guilty on robbery and attempted robbery charges, and he's going to do 4 years behind bars over in England.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I
4
guess,
years?
I guess if you're contemplating robbing a bank, you might want to write your note a little legible,
Maybe have somebody write it for you.
right? Or better yet, type it out and print it.
Yeah.
Now
Or-
that's real legible.
Or call that girl that had better handwriting than you in second grade.
Yeah.
See if she's still around and have her write it for you.
Yeah, then she can become an accessory to the crime. Yeah. Okay. So multiple. Could you imagine that? Writing out. Could you imagine having bad handwriting and you have a friend write it for you and they use it to rob a bank? Are you considered an accessory to the crime?
Would you now? I think,
I'm very serious.
I
That
bet
question.
you would. You might not get a whole lot of time for it, but I bet there would be something where
That's a
you would
question
be-
for our good friend. That's a good question for. Let's ask. You know what? Remind me tomorrow to ask Major Budensink if he's here tomorrow, or
Yes.
Sheriff Snyder.
Okay.
That question. If you write a note for somebody else to rob a bank because that robber's handwriting is not all that good, would you be considered an accessory to the crime?
Now let me write it down. Or Evan, would you write it for me? Because sometimes I can't read my own handwriting.
Oh, it's true.
That's a good one. Boy, on a Monday, you just threw yourself right under the bus there. Okay.
Well, I'm a lefty. Sometimes I go back and, gosh, I'll be like, wow, what was I writing that day? What did I write?
Send yourself an email.
Okay.
There you go. You should be able to read that one.
I could do that.
That one's good. Okay. So multiple thieves broke into, would you write it for me? I can't read my own handwriting. Multiple thieves broke into a gaming shop in Australia on Tuesday morning last week and stole a large number of rare Digimon trading cards and board games. Then one of the thieves went back to the same exact shop later on that day and tried to sell them the same rare trading cards that they stole earlier. Yeah.
I mean, don't they think the people that work there are not going to recognize?
Not surprisingly, the store recognized the cards and they called the cops. The cops then followed the person to the hideout where they found stolen cards as well as 2 other suspects. Then 2 hours later, a separate person went into the same store and also wanted to sell some of the stolen Digimon cards. They were also arrested. So far, the police have charged 5 people and are looking for a 6th person. So if you're going to steal something from, let's say, a Walmart, and then you take it home, and then hours later, you come back and try to return it to get a store credit,
yeah,
I'm sure they're going to catch you because of the security cameras. Yeah, so just don't do it.
No, I'm sure
Don't be
people tried
stupid.
to do that before. I think people have done that before. No,
Yeah.
like in those stealing operations and
Not
stuff.
good.
But
Not good. Not good.
And if I were those kids, I would get rid of those Digiman cards.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah, they're
You
no
don't need
good.
them. They're no good. A customer's unusual arrival at a Saskatchewan Dairy Queen has resulted in a criminal charge. Around 5 o'clock last week on Thursday, police received a complaint that a helicopter had landed in a high-traffic parking lot in the community.
Oh, my.
Yeah, landing a helicopter in a parking lot
How
that has a
cool.
lot of traffic.
I bet floods of people running right over there to witness a helicopter
Okay.
landing.
Well, the helicopter blew up a whole lot of dust and debris in the area. That includes a school and an aquatic center. Now, a passenger climbed out of the helicopter, bought an ice cream cake, and went back in the copter. The landing was not an emergency, according to police. The pilot was licensed. It was illegal, though, to land the helicopter in the area. The 34-year-old man is being charged with 1 count of dangerous operation of an aircraft.
All because he wanted his DQ.
He wanted his Dairy Queen and he wanted an ice cream
He
cake.
wanted it now.
So he chartered a helicopter and took it over there and landed it. Wow. Very interesting.
It had to be a cool day. A fun day, though, for those working at the DQ.
Yeah. Wow. I saw the video of that. It was
I
quite a bit interesting.
I bet that would be cool.
Quite
Have you
a
ever
bit
been up in one of those helicopters?
I was up in a helicopter once. Oh, let me think how long it's been. Late 70s, early 80s, maybe later in the 80s. I don't remember. But I had won a free helicopter ride in the WRMF Yellowcopter is what it was called.
Oh, really?
It was called the Yellowcopter. at the time.
WRMF was around that long ago.
Oh, yeah. They've
huh?
been around for a very long time.
Isn't that the country music station?
No.
No.
No, they're the top 40 station.
I'm thinking of IRK.
Right.
Yeah.
So I won a helicopter ride in the WRMF Yellowcopter with a gentleman by the name of Paul Kavanaugh.
Was he famous?
He was the traffic reporter back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, me and a friend went up in the helicopter. Bonnie, it was the weirdest experience ever in my entire life.
Now, did you both wear your deodorant that day?
Yeah. Yeah, we had deodorant on.
I would consider that if you're in a helicopter, you're kind of like hooked up right next to each other.
Well, it was very tight quarters. Let's just say, do you remember what a Chevy Chevette looks like? The little small box car.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was like that and even smaller.
Oh, man, that was
So
feeling
it was
tight, right?
Right. It was the pilot and the co-pilot in the front, me and my friend in the back, and we're all wearing the headsets so we can all talk to each other and hear everything that's going on. So, and I brought a plastic bag with me because I didn't know if I was going to upcheck or not. Yeah.
Could you imagine being in that helicopter when somebody does something like that, and the smell?
Well,
how long of a helicopter ride did you have?
Well, hold on, I'm not done.
All right.
It took off from Palm Beach International Airport, and we went over to the coast and up and down the east coast of Florida checking traffic.
Oh, what fun.
We were up in the air for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
So you went like up and down on the shoreline, basically,
pretty
the coast.
Yeah,
coast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, man, that had to be exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting until I started to get sick.
Oh, and,
yeah.
Oh, and did you hold it until you landed? Did you get on out of there? And
I'm glad I brought a plastic bag. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh no.
Yes, I did a little. I learned a good lesson. Never eat breakfast before you go up in a helicopter.
Remind me not to go on any carnival rides with you.
Yeah, I don't do rides. Period. I simply don't do rides. So yeah, luckily I had that plastic bag with me.
Yeah.
Needless to say, the cockpit did not have a pleasant smell.
I bet not.
Yeah.
I've never been in one. Wisconsin Dells used to have a helicopter at one of their water parks, and where we would play miniature golf. And the helicopter would come landing down on this hill, and you could purchase a ride. You know, they gave rides right at the theme park there.
Yeah.
But I just never paid the, I don't know what, $30 or maybe $50, whatever it was, to go up in one.
I mean, it was fun up until I got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
I would
about
hate to be that passenger with you.
Well, let's just say you see the color of the wall. That's about the color of my skin. I turned as white as the wall.
Wow.
It was bad.
Would you ever go up in one again?
Never
Even
again.
if you didn't eat breakfast first?
No, never again. I can deal with flying on an airplane.
Yeah.
That is not a problem.
Would you go on that space shuttle that, go up with Elon Musk and
heck
those rich people up there?
No.
See the atmosphere?
No.
Not for you?
No, you're not getting me up there. Definitely not for me. Not happening. Anyway, that's your stupid news for Monday, August 23rd, 2021. And from the stupid stuff, we have to go to the real stuff. So Bonnie's standing by at the news desk. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town. On any type of precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Investigators in Palm Beach County are looking into the shooting death of a teenager who was discovered in the back of a pickup that sped from Lake Worth Beach to Hobe Sound on Friday night. The high-speed pursuit ended after 9:40 p.m. on County Road 714 when a Martin County Sheriff's Office pickup conducted a pit maneuver, turning sideways in front of a vehicle to make it stop on the fleeing vehicle. Martin County Sheriff William Snyder said the incident began in the 4900 block of Kirk Road in Lake Worth when a 911 caller told a Palm Beach County dispatcher that someone had been shot and killed and two people were dragging the body to a canal, officials there said. As deputies responded, the caller told dispatchers the pair had instead put the body in the bed of a gray Ford F-150 and fled the scene. Authorities in Palm Beach notified the Martin County Sheriff's Office as the pickup traveled north on Interstate 95. Snyder said his deputies deployed stop sticks, but the Ford driver, speeding at more than 100 miles per hour, avoided the devices. However, about a dozen other vehicles, including some sheriff's cruisers, struck the sticks, Snyder said. The sheriff's office will pay the cost for the punctured tires, he said. The pickup exited onto CR 714, where it was stopped. Deputies found the driver, a female passenger, and the dead body. Martin County deputies identified the Carlos Castaneda. The names of the passenger and the dead teen in the bed of the truck were not released on Saturday. Well, in Nashville, Tennessee, at least 21 people were dead and dozens remained missing Sunday after record-shattering downpours triggered flooding across parts of the state. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis confirmed the death toll and said 25 to 30 people were missing. Among those killed were twin toddlers swept from their father's arms, according to surviving relatives. Public Information Officer Gray Collier said hundreds of homes may be uninhabitable. The flooding took out roads, cell phone towers, and telephone lines. The hardest hit areas saw double the rain that areas of Middle Tennessee had in the previous worst case scenario for flooding. Waverly business owner Kansas Klein told the Associated Press that a housing area known as Brookside apparently suffered the most damage from the floods. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is no longer single.
The Northwest Florida Republican describes himself on his Twitter page as a firebrand, a Florida man, added happy husband. Gaetz and fiancée Ginger Lucky got married in a private ceremony on California's Catalina Island. He shared pictures on Twitter after Vanity Fair broke the story. Gaetz remains under investigation in connection with former Seminole County tax collector Joel Greenberg, who pled guilty to charges including sex trafficking and is cooperating with Gordon Bird.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he has tested negative for COVID-19 just 4 days after testing positive. I'm told that my infection was brief and mild because of the vaccination that I received, Abbott said in a video clip posted on his Twitter account on Saturday. So I encourage others who have not yet received the vaccination to consider getting one. Lastly, Don Everly of the Everly Brothers died at his home in Nashville. He was 84 years old. His brother Phil passed in 2014. Their hits included Bye Bye Love, Wake Up Little Susie, and All I Have to Do Is Dream. Martin County North Little League's magical summer had to come to an end eventually on a night where the Palm City team played spectacularly. Their opponent was just a bit better. Eastlake Little League's Eli Jones threw a no-hitter to lead the Washington-based team to a 1-0 victory, ending Martin County's run in the Little League World Series at Williamsport, Pennsylvania. News time is 7:49. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
7:51 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we're not finding any accidents on our roadways right now. It's nice and clear. It's our latest report from the Florida Highway Patrol. A smooth ride on US 1, everything up to speed on the major highways. And if you see something, say something. Give us a call at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Skies are partly cloudy, and it's 78 here in Stuart. It's also 78 in Port St. Lucie. Here's more on our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the upper 70s to low 80s under mostly clear skies and an isolated shower possible towards the coast. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, hazy skies and some inland showers and storms possible. Tomorrow through Thursday, highs in the low 90s, hazy skies and low rain chances thanks to a plume of Saharan dust, which will continue to filter in throughout the week. Friday through the weekend, the dust backs off a little and rain chances increase slightly, staying hot and humid though with highs in the low 90s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to live on the air. Give us a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Want your child to remember their birthday party forever? Then hire Unforgettable Kids Parties. Your kids will scream with delight when they get a visit from Bigfoot or take a swim in the Titanic-themed swimming pool, where we use a real hunk of ice to represent the iceberg and simulate the cold ocean water. They'll jump for joy in the Hindenburg Bouncy House.
Oh, the humanity.
There's even the 3 Mile Island Petting Zoo with glow-in-the-dark costumes and crazy 3-headed rats. A birthday party guaranteed to be etched in their minds. They won't forget. Will you?
Wow, I don't know if I'd want a birthday party like that.
I'd be rather, it would seem unpleasant.
Ooh, that would be brutal, Bonnie.
Yeah, I would think so. Do you have those birthday parties when you were a kid that one maybe birthday party that just struck out in your mind?
I used to give my kids these huge birthday parties because their birthdays always fell. They were 9 days apart. Darren, the oldest, was December 20th, and the twins were December 29th. So we would always do a birthday party like right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
And one year we had the birthday party at this Burger King because, we have to invite all the kids is what we have to do. So you have to figure each class has got 30 kids in it. So we're literally inviting 90 kids to Burger King.
You invited that many? Like you just didn't have them invite their closest friends?
No, we go big or go home. That's the way we roll in our house. So all the kids are there, and who comes rolling up in a limo that I set up because I was a ring announcer back in the day for WWE back then. The one and only Hulk Hogan shows up at Burger King. Sent the whole place into a tizzy.
Hulk Hogan.
He hops behind the counter and starts serving burgers to people. It was great. I'll have to bring the pictures in to show you.
Did he purchase more burgers for the kids at the party?
He just was there. He took pictures. He was in town. He did a favor for me.
Nice.
And he showed up and did his whole thing. And that was the best party ever.
And oh my, did he eat up all the burgers?
No, he didn't. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next. And then the superintendent of the Martin County School System, Dr. John Millay, will be with us. Don't go anywhere.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. Call the show anytime at 772-220-88. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. It's Monday morning on the Get Up and Go show.
Forgive me, but shut up. You're acting like a baby.
No, I'm not acting like a baby. I am not going to shut up.
How hard is it to talk into a microphone?
It's very easy. You just engage and talk.
No, that's not funny.
I think it's kind of funny if you ask me. 8:08 on the Get Up and Go show. Mr. Clock, would you please certify the time?
It's now 8:08 a.m.
That's right, 8:08 in the morning on the Get Up and Go show, and it's time for our weekly visit with the superintendent of the Martin County school system, the one and only Dr. John Millay is with us, Bonnie.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Millay. What are we in our third week of school here in Martin County?
Yes, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. It's hard to believe we into this third week. Yes.
Before you know it, we're going to be on spring break already.
one week at a time. 1 week at a time.
I know.
Evan's going to be seen down there partying with all the spring breakers.
No. That's
considering.
way out of my realm. Trust me.
He only hangs with like WWE people like Hulk Hogan.
There you go. Yep.
We can't compete with that.
No, he hangs with all the cool people.
I can arrange for some wrestlers to make an appearance at one of the schools if you want. We can talk about that.
Well, right now we're wrestling with a lot of little issues, but I appreciate how flexible our staff and our families are being. You know, we have a lot of noise out there across the country and state, and COVID. We're pushing through that, but I do appreciate the staff's flexibility, and the teachers are doing a great job. So, staff, shout out, proud of them.
I want to talk a little bit this morning about important resources for the families in the Martin County School District. One of them, of course, is the most important resource is the schools, the district's website. It's martinschools.org, and people should really bookmark this page in their web browser, shouldn't they?
Yes. Just like WSTU, they should mark it, martinschools.org. There is so much good information, and our website's new this year. All the back to school information that if you're not sure still of something, that everything's there, from bus routes to safety to COVID to supplies to meeting nights and dates. All that's there. So we just encourage all of our parents to look at that website, spend a few minutes. You'll be glad you did.
John, let's talk a little bit about the screening tool first and foremost that you have up on your website. Tell us a little bit about that and how it works.
Sure. Well, it's just a little interactive, and it's there's nothing that's required of that. So when they look at the little screening tool, it's just reminders. It's just like we remind everyone to wash your hands, make sure you're being as safe as you can. This little symptom checker, it shows possible symptoms that you might have, and it gives you some indication of whether you think you might need to stay home today. So it's real quick, it's real easy, and there's nothing that's required about it, but it's a nice tool.
Tell us a little bit more about some of the other resources that are on the martinschools.org website for our listeners out there.
Sure. We have one of the biggest things that I want to direct people to is the COVID dashboard. I know on different days you might see a number a little higher, quarantine cases, but what I encourage people to do when they drill down, you may see a number like it's a little high, but if you look at each schools, some schools have very few or no quarantine cases at the moment. Some schools, like our secondary, they have a lot more. So students that go quarantine, there's a definite date when they can come back, especially if they're exposed, and then maybe they get a test, those types of things. But the point is, you may see a number, but those kids in those cases, of course, that are quarantined come back to school. So I just want to remind parents they can look at their particular school and not just make an assumption when you see the overall picture. So that's a great tool. And then again, I'll just keep pointing people back to the back to school webpage. Has everything that you might need.
How is COVID doing? We're in week number 3, I think Bonnie said, right, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Week number 3. How is COVID doing in the schools, in the system so far?
Well, it's still here. In this variant's a bit different, as people can read about. The positive thing that I can say what's happened in Martin County schools is we're trying to focus on what we can control. So the most important thing we have to make sure that's happening is keeping our staff in the classrooms and in our buildings. So we are going to, we do have staff out at times. So we're trying to, whether it's substitutes or school staffing with rotation. So that's our issue that we're going to continue to grapple with, is making sure that we have our classrooms covered. Right now we're doing it. It's a challenge. I won't stretch and say it's not, but our principals, our administrators, our staff are stepping in and they're taking care of our kids.
Now, when kids do have to quarantine, they're going to need resources. Talk to me a little bit about the resources for the quarantine students.
Sure. And the easiest way that you can look, when you go to that website, martinschools.org, there's a little capsule, it's going to be right there in front of you, center stage. It says information for quarantine students. So when you click on that if there's a decision tree that kind of shares information from the Department of Education, and there's information from the Department of Health. It's there in English and in Spanish, all those different items. And it basically tells every parent, like, teachers will either email or they'll send work home, depending on the age of the kid, through Schoology or through Google Suite. So depending on the age of the kid, the school, that type of thing. But parents, there's information on how you access that information, and they can always contact their child's teacher. We do have a staff every day here at the district office that's are available. So if parents or a student has a homework with how they can access, they get stumped, we're going to try to get them the information they need to keep them moving in their schoolwork. And yes, we know it's a challenge. The best spot is always going to be in the classroom, but we have people trying to make the very most of a tough situation. So all that information, though, is on that website, and they can the symptom checker, how they get access to the assignments, the class link. And we just sent a couple of days ago, well, actually Thursday, Friday, a note went home, a report card went home for last year to every student in Martin County schools. So every student brought home last year's hard copy report card. They also brought home a color sheet of paper that lets every parent knows, and we did a lot of social media on it. So any parents that are not going into our focus link where they can go anytime and see their kids' grades, see their attendance, it was step-by-step directions on how to do it. And Friday and even today and tomorrow, we have staff. There's a number on there, a helpline. If people call, we will sign them through. We will troubleshoot. If they need something reset, we're going to get it done. So we encourage all of our parents to make sure you're utilizing it, signed up for that focus, how to check in on your child. Because if you learn it as elementary, you have it for the rest of their academic career. And it's good to know how their grades are looking. It's good to know if they're tardy or their attendance. You may not know that.
Dr. Millay, how long is the quarantine? What's the duration of how long do people quarantine before returning to school?
But I know this is the challenge of it. But when you go look to that page about quarantining, you look at the symptomatic decision tree. My simplest answer is it depends. It would depend on if they were, if they have COVID, if they were exposed but they're symptomatic or not symptomatic. It would depend on if they had a test after so many days. So I always will push them back to that decision tree. But basically, if a student, this is going to hit a lot most. This little example hits most students. Say a student was exposed to a positive case. They're not showing symptoms, but based on contact tracing, they'll get a call from the Department of Health or school staff on behalf of the Department of Health, and they're told they have to quarantine. So a case like that, if 4 days after you've been exposed to a positive case, if you're not showing symptoms and you get tested on that 5th day and it's negative, you can come back. So the Department of Health allows that if you were exposed but you don't have symptoms, and you for those that are have the vaccination, the health department will look at that, determine how fast you can come back to school. It is quicker with that. So there's just many options, and it depends again on if you have it, whether you're exposed to it, and whether you're showing symptoms, that type of thing.
Right on.
All right, very good. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the kids are given these IDs, and they're just not to, for ID purposes only. They serve many, many different purposes that a lot of people are not aware of. Why is it so important that the students have these IDs on them at all times?
Well, it's part of our safety plan, and our ID badges are used to confirm the school bus ridership and allow our students to purchase, say, a la carte items in our cafeteria. If your child has not received their school issue ID badge, those are still running right now. If they have not received that for this school year, you can still send them in last year's. It's still active until the new one is activated. So students who are new to the Martin County School District this year, or students that have misplaced the badges, they're going to receive their badges in the coming day, in the coming week. So let parents know if they don't have the new one, use the old one.
So in other words, what you're telling me is these ID badges are what is used on the school buses when the kids get on. There's a barcode, and the barcode is scanned. I see it there. So the barcode is scanned. So this way it goes right into the system, and it tells the centralized system that little Johnny is on bus number 0237, and then it is scanned when he gets off as well at the location, and it shows that little Johnny has gotten off at XYZ school.
Yeah, and all of this, that's exactly right, and it keeps us safe. We have evacuation plans and different plans for every one of our schools, that God forbid there was an issue. We have to relocate kids. We have to practice an emergency procedure, and we had to move kids to a different location. This is how we track and can keep up with it. So we would know that your child is safe, where they're at, and how we relocate them. So that's just part of our safety badge system. And it helps, when you see kids or you see adults on campuses, if they don't have this, we know, hey, especially if it's an adult, why don't they have it? Are they one of our employees? And it helps us recognize.
All right, very good. That's Dr. John Millay. He's on the program with us each and every Monday at this time, giving us an update as far as all things that are happening in the Martin County school system. He is the superintendent of the schools, so he has his work cut out for him each and every day that he goes in there. But you know what? It's a great thing, and he's very passionate about what he does, and he wants to make sure that all the kids and the teachers are all safe as well. John, I can't thank you enough on behalf of Bonnie and myself. We really thank you for all the great hard work that you do there at the school board.
Well, it's a teamwork. It's a team effort. We have great people in this office at all of our schools, and it's, I always say teamwork makes it all work. I mean, teamwork makes it all work. It's our bus drivers, our secretary, food service, teachers, everybody that's out there, maintenance, getting it done. So appreciate everybody.
Definitely so. John, we'll talk to you next week. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. It's time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,791.60 an ounce, and silver opening up $23.44 an ounce. That's the Precious Metals Report, and it's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. 8:22 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's head over to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. In Port St. Lucie, a 39-year-old man was shot and killed Saturday night at his home off Kitterman Road, according to St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials. Marcus Davis Leith died after two men with guns entered his residence in the 6500 block of Las Palmas Way, east of US 1 in Port St. Lucie, and shot him inside his house, officials said. It's unknown what time the shooting occurred. St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputies and detectives believe the shooting was a targeted incident, officials said, so there's no danger to the public. Leith is listed as the house's owner on the St. Lucie County Property Appraiser's website. Investigators from the Sheriff's Crime Scene Unit were at the scene Sunday. Yellow crime scene tape surrounded the home with two vehicles remaining in the driveway. Three of the unit's vans were parked in the street. The dead-end road is lined with single-family homes. Security cameras are located on top of a pole at the street's entrance, but it's unknown if they're working. No further details about the slaying were available Sunday afternoon. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials at 772-462-3230 or Treasure Coast Crime Stoppers 800-384-77. Nearly 374,000 Treasure Coast residents, about 58% of the population, had been at least partially inoculated against COVID-19 through August 19, according to Florida Department of Health's latest data. As unvaccinated patients fill local hospitals in record numbers, health officials urged the remainder of the community to get the vaccine as soon as possible, not only to protect yourselves, but also others. All Floridians 18 and older became eligible for a shot April 5 per a March 26 executive order issued by Governor Ron DeSantis. Those 12 to 17 are eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. All Americans will be eligible for a second booster shot beginning the week of September 20, as long as at least 8 months have passed since their first booster. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services announced on August 18, and there are several locations to get vaccinated throughout Indian River and St. Lucie and Martin counties, like CVS, Publix, Walgreens. You can get it at Walmart, Sam's Club, and Winn-Dixie. Conservative talk radio host Phil Valentine has died following a lengthy battle with COVID-19. He was 61 years old. His death was announced by a Super Talk WTN on Saturday afternoon. Valentine had been battling the virus since at least July 11, when he confirmed on his Facebook page that he had been diagnosed with COVID-19. Valentine was a prominent voice on national radio for decades. Funeral services are being held today in Daytona Beach for a fallen police officer. Jason Rayner died last week after being shot in the head while on duty 2 months ago. A 7th Florida school district is imposing a mask mandate on students. Leon County Superintendent Rocky Hanna says daily COVID positivity rates are more than double their highest daily number for last year. He asked Governor Ron DeSantis to reconsider his position.
Governor, just as you fight to protect the sovereignty of the state of Florida, we are simply asking you to have that same consideration for us.
Hannah says Leon County has seen almost 1/3 as many cases in the first 7 days of classes as it saw in all of the last school year. Tropical Storm Henry weakened into tropical depression Sunday night as it crawled over the northeast and continued to unleash downpours over a region already saturated by heavy rain and wind that knocked out power to over 100,000 homes and swamped roads, closed bridges, and left people stranded in their vehicles. Henry made landfall Sunday on the coast of Rhode Island, and the National Hurricane Center warned that the slow-moving storm would continue dumping heavy rains on wide swaths of the region. The storm was downgraded from a hurricane before reaching, leaving many to breathe a sigh of relief. There were few early reports of major damage due to wind or surf. Lastly, Disney has filed a motion to settle a lawsuit brought by Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson behind closed doors. Disney's request for arbitration is the company's first filing in the case since Johansson filed suit on July 29, alleging her contract with Marvel was breached when Black Widow was released on the Disney Plus streaming service at the same time as in theaters. Miguel Cabrera is now a member of one of the most exclusive clubs in baseball. Cabrera put an exclamation point on his career when he became the 28th member of the 500 home run club with a 6th-inning blast for the Detroit Tigers on Sunday against the Blue Jays in Toronto. The 38-year-old Cabrera connected on a 1-1 pitch from left-hander Steven Matz, sending the ball over the scoreboard in right center field. The 400-foot homer tied the score at 1. The Tigers won the game 5-3 in 11 innings. News time at 8:28. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$8:29 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
Well, we're not seeing any accidents happening right here. Throughout the Treasure Coast, the major highways clear and good right now. US 1 up to speed. Everything is good on our highways. Drive safely. There's your latest look at traffic. In Palm City this morning, it's 78, and in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, a cool 66. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the upper 70s to low 80s under mostly clear skies and an isolated shower possible towards the coast. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, hazy skies, and some inland showers and storms possible. Tomorrow through Thursday, highs in the low 90s, hazy skies, and low rain chances thanks to a plume of Saharan dust, which will continue to filter in throughout the week. Friday through the weekend, the dust backs off a little and rain chances increase slightly, staying hot and humid though with highs in the low 90s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:32 on the Get Up and Go show for me and you. And without any further ado, Here's Randy Siegel with the Monday Morning Space Report. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning to you, sir. Well, it was on this date in history, back in 1966, that the first Earth picture was sent from the moon. Yep, that was courtesy of the Lunar Orbiter 1. Lunar Orbiter 1 was placed into orbit around the moon in order to scout out landing sites for the Apollo astronauts to land on the moon. Well, we've had a bunch of spacewalks taking place, and we have spacewalks that will continue to take place. The astronauts on board the International Space Station on the American side are getting ready for a spacewalk to take place tomorrow. That will take place tomorrow morning at just about 8:30, when 2 astronauts venture outside to work on solar arrays, giving more power to the International Space Station. Mark Vanderhee and Akihiro Hoshide from the Japanese Space Agency will go out and perform those spacewalks. The International Space Station also was raised in orbit about a half a mile. This way, they stay in phase and they counter the effects of Earth's gravity, which pulls spacecrafts back down. Now they want to get it back up higher a little bit in orbit. And the other reason is because they want to get ready for the return of cargo from the station, as well as launching new crews to the International Space Station. On October 5th, the Russians will use a Soyuz 21A rocket to launch Anatoly Sheplerev into space, along with 2 spaceflight participants who will do a movie on board the space station. Yulia Perside and director Klim Shapenko, they're scheduled to fly to the International Space Station. They will only spend about 10 days on board the station before they return to Earth with Russian cosmonaut Oleg Novitsky, who has been on the orbital station. 2 Chinese toikonauts, if you will, Ni Hai Shang and Lu Boming, went out of their station and worked on the exterior of the station, getting ready for new experiments to be placed there. They worked in different spacesuits than they have before, and their work was helped by a rudimentary mechanical arm that they had. Astronaut Tang Haibang remained inside the space station during this particular spacewalk. China is also monitoring the work being done on Mars by its Zhurong rover. The Zhurong rover has been on Mars now for quite a bit of time, about 92 Earth days, and it continues to explore the red planet. They sent back photographs of the vehicle's tracks on the red planet, showing just how far it has actually traveled. With Mars on the far side of the sun from the Earth at this particular time, the red planet is basically obscured by the sun. Charged particles that are given off by our star influence radio communications between the planets, meaning Zhurong will need to operate autonomously for a short period of time on the red planet, as will the U.S. Curiosity and Perseverance. The opening period will be October 2nd through October the 14th, when the sun will interfere with the communications. Over the weekend, from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, OneWeb had a successful launch on board the Soyuz 21B rocket. Saturday, they saw another cluster of satellites go into orbit with no problems. Another 34 satellites have now been placed in orbit for OneWeb, giving them a huge cadre of spacecrafts in orbit. Their next launch, will be launched on September 14th. carrying more satellites into orbit. Blue Origin is having some big problems because 17, you heard it right, 17 key Blue Origin employees have quit the company this summer. For some reason, once Jeff Bezos went into space, a lot of his key people have decided they no longer want to work for Blue Origin. And as a result, they have left the company and are joining other companies that work in space. This leaves Bezos with quite a problem. In fact, he tried countering some of that problem by giving a $10,000 bonus to a lot of the individuals who helped get him into space. Even though they got their bonus, they've decided to leave. Part of the problem is that their BE-4 engine that was supposed to be ready already to carry new payloads into space is way beyond its time. They have fallen behind in the ability to get that rocket engine ready, and they stand the potential of losing contracts from the government. Over in Russia, all of the cosmonauts that have been approved and those that are in training have been told that they have to continue going back yearly for medical examinations as well as health checks. The Russians have found that in many cases, some of their cosmonauts who have already been approved have not stayed in tip-top shape. So now the Russians are saying, sorry, guys, but you can't gain weight and you can't lose proficiency. You're going to have to go back and do zero-G training. You're going to have to work on a platform that'll give you 3 or better Gs on your body in a centrifuge, and you're going to have to spend a lot more time studying. So it appears that Russia is having some problems. Roman Romanenko, who has been in space several times for Russia, said that China is really becoming quite a player and will remain a major player into the future. He said they have shown a proficiency to launch vehicles and to have clean spacecrafts in orbit. We're getting ready to see in the next month the Inspiration 4 launch on a crewed Dragon. Inspiration 4 will have 4 individuals going into space that have had no previous spaceflight experience. The individuals are related to St. Jude's Hospital in one way or another. Jared Isaacman, who will be the mission commander, along with Dr. Stamos, as well as 2 other people, have practiced going into orbit. Now, they will not go to the International Space Station. Instead, they will be outfitted with a special Dragon that has a glass cockpit. Once they open up the nose cone, they'll spend about 4 days in space before returning to Earth. Tomorrow, we're going to tell you about NASA suspending a contract thanks to Blue Origin and Russia not going back to the moon until next year. So until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
That's Randy Siegel with the Space Report. He's on the program each and every weekday at this time. Time to head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli, where Bonnie just can't make her mind up on what she wants to eat today because everything is so good there.
Yeah, and they just have like a really nice extended menu too at Ellie's Downtown Deli with their signature sandwiches, their fresh jumbo wraps, their signature salads, soups of the day. You might want to try the big beef burrito today. This is a wrap of your choice. You get the spinach wrap, the tomato basil with seasoned ground beef, sauteed peppers and onions, cheddar cheese, sour cream, salsa, avocado, and jasmine rice. Doesn't this wrap sound yummy? Enjoy with a fresh, hot bowl of soup. Chef Mark making his 2 different seasonings and soups of the day, each and every weekday, and he's on it right now, making you a fresh hot bowl of soup to get you workday started for this Monday morning. And Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now with their patio back open, plus they're at 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available for takeout, plus their fabulous desserts as well. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. Located at 18 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado in Stuart. Call 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
8:43 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news once again, brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. For the best deals in town on precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Bonnie standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. Once again, investigators in Palm Beach County are looking into the shooting death of a teenager who was discovered in the back of a pickup that sped from Lake Worth Beach to Hobe Sound on Friday night. The high-speed pursuit ended after 9:40 p.m. on County Road 714 when a Martin County Sheriff's Office pickup conducted a pit maneuver, turning sideways in front of a vehicle to make it stop on the fleeing vehicle. Martin County Sheriff William Snyder said the incident began in the 4900 block of Kirk Road in Lake Worth when a 911 caller told a Palm Beach County dispatcher that someone had been shot and killed and 2 people were a canal, officials there said. As deputies responded, the caller told dispatchers the pair had instead put the body in the bed of a gray Ford F-150 and fled the scene. Authorities in Palm Beach notified the Martin County Sheriff's Office as the pickup traveled north on Interstate 95. Snyder said his deputies deployed stop sticks, but the Ford driver, speeding at more than 100 miles per hour, avoided the devices. However, about a dozen other vehicles, including some sheriff's cruisers, struck the sticks, Snyder said. The sheriff's office will pay the cost for the punctured tires, he said. The pickup exited onto CR 714 where it was stopped. Deputies found the driver, a female passenger, and the dead body. Martin County deputies identified the driver as 17-year-old Carlos Castaneda. The names of the passenger and the dead teen in the bed of the truck were not released on Saturday. In Port St. Lucie, a 39-year-old man was shot and killed Saturday night at his home off Kitterman Road. According to St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials, Marcus Davis Leith died after 2 men with guns entered his residence into the 6500 block of Las Palmas Way, east of US 1 in Port St. Lucie, and shot him inside his house. It's unknown what time the shooting occurred. St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputies and detectives believe the shooting was a targeted incident, officials said, so there's no danger to the public. Investigators from the Sheriff's Crime Scene Unit were at the scene Sunday. Yellow crime scene tape surrounded the home, with 2 vehicles remaining in the driveway. 3 of the unit's vans were parked in the street. The dead-end road is lined with single-family homes. Security cameras are located on top of a pole at the street's entrance, but it's unknown if they're working. No further details about the slaying were available Sunday afternoon, and anyone with information about the incident is asked to call St. Lucie County Sheriff's officials 772-462-3230 or Treasure Coast Crime Stoppers at 800-273-8477. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is no longer single.
The Northwest Florida Republican describes himself on his Twitter page a Florida man and just added happy husband. Gaetz and fiancée Ginger Lucky got married in a private ceremony on California's Catalina Island. He shared pictures on Twitter after Vanity Fair broke the story. Gaetz remains under investigation in connection with former Seminole County tax collector Joel Greenberg, who pled guilty to charges including sex trafficking with federal prosecutors. I'm Gordon Bird.
Haiti's Civil Protection Agency said Sunday that the toll from this month's magnitude 7.2 earthquake has grown to 2,207, with 344 people still missing. The agency said via Twitter that 12,268 people were injured and nearly 53,000 houses were destroyed by the August 14 quake. The new toll comes at a time when relief operations are expanding, but authorities are struggling with security at distribution points. Gangs have hijacked aid trucks, and desperate crowds have scuffled over bags of food. And lastly, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he has tested negative for COVID-19 just 4 days after testing positive. I'm told that my infection was brief and mild because of the vaccination that I received. Abbott sent in a video clip posted on his Twitter account on Saturday, so I encourage others who have not yet received the vaccination to consider getting one. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays placed designated hitter Nelson Cruz on the COVID-19 injured list. The move was announced Sunday about 1 hour before the Rays hosted the Chicago White Sox in a matchup of AL division leaders. It was not clear if Cruz tested positive for the coronavirus or was deemed a close contact of someone who did. News time at 8:48, and we'll have weather and traffic together for you next.
$8:49, just clicking over to 8:50 as we speak. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie?
We're not finding any accidents, so yeah, it's just like a smooth ride on this Monday morning, smooth sailing on our roadways through Stewart and Port St. Lucie. Major highways, US 1 included, drive safely. And there's your latest look at traffic. 80 degrees here in Stewart this morning, and in Youngstown, Ohio, it's 73. Here's a look at our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the upper 70s to low 80s under mostly clear skies and an isolated shower possible towards the coast. This afternoon, highs in the low 90s, heat index values in the triple digits, hazy skies, and some inland showers and storms possible. Tomorrow through Thursday, highs in the low 90s, hazy skies, and low rain chances thanks to a plume of Saharan dust, which will continue to filter in throughout the week. Friday through the weekend, the dust backs off a little and rain chances increase slightly, staying hot and humid though with highs in the low 90s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
Fall will be here before we know it. So now the time's right for the first ever pumpkin spice vaccine from Pfizer. All the protection of the vaccine, but each shot has the aroma of pumpkin spice and comes with a free pair of Ugg boots. Finally, the time is right for pumpkin spice and Pfizer.
You like that one?
That might make me get out to get my vaccine. Make it spicy. Make it pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Pumpkin spice vaccine. That ought to be really interesting. Very, very interesting. So what are your plans later today? Tell me what you're doing.
I don't know, but there's like a movie. There's a new movie out I want to see, but I don't know if I should go see it alone because it looks like a thriller. Like, it might scare me at the movie theater, and then I might have to be sitting close to somebody to hold their hand. This movie is called, The Night House.
Mm-hmm.
The Night House, reeling from the unexpected death of her husband.
Okay.
Beth, played by Rebecca Hall, is left alone in the lakeside home he built for her.
Mm-hmm.
She tries as best she can to keep together, but then the dreams come. Disturbing visions of a presence in the house call to her, beckoning with a ghostly allure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, but I mean, it just sounds like my kind of movie because I've always wanted a lakeside home.
Okay.
And this one's like a haunting thriller. Against the advice of her friends, she begins digging into her husband's belongings, yearning for answers. Oh,
wow.
Sounds like kind of like a chick movie, a thriller, a nice lakeside home movie.
Okay.
Just the kind of movie I want to see, and it's now playing.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But I don't think I'll see that one till tomorrow.
Right. We got a phone call. Let's go to the phones right now. Good morning. You're on the air.
You don't like horror movies, Bonnie?
Oh, no, I like horror movies. I just don't know if I can go to see one alone. Sometimes I go to an afternoon movie by myself, and I don't know how horrifying this one is going to be. But I dare go see it by myself? Do you ever watch a horror movie by yourself? Put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
You
do? Oh, yeah, all the time.
Oh.
Actually, there's only one time, though, I saw one in the movie theater by myself. Literally, no one else was in the movie theater.
Really?
Yeah. It was when George Romero's Land of the Dead came out.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm sitting there, like, in the middle of the movie theater by myself. And then I'm sitting there. I actually started looking behind me a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
really?
gosh.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I was afraid someone from the movie there was going to come in and try to scare me for some reason.
Now, I told you about my incident with the Godfather, how emotionally scarred I am for life because of that.
Really? The Godfather?
Oh, yeah. My parents, when I was, I want to say 10, 11 years old, took me with them when they went to go see The Godfather.
Yeah.
Now, it was at the Lauderhill Cinemas by the Lauderhill Mall. This is going back to like 1970.
78?
72.
Well,
72. No, 72.
That early?
Like 70 or 71.
Yeah, 72-ish.
Whoa.
71, 72-ish. I was like 12 years old, 11, 12
Wow.
years old. So they take me to this movie. They say, oh, yeah, it's not going to be too bad. I'm like, okay, no problem. So we're in the movie theater, and the scene comes up where the horse's head is in the bed. And I went running out to the lobby and dropped my cookies in the lobby. And that was it. I refused to go back in the movie theater. My parents were really...
You know what happened to me? I was about 8 years old in 1980, and my aunt and uncle came to pick up my father to go see the original Friday the 13th, and they went to take me. They went to go see it in the Boca Mall, which is now Meisner Park.
Oh wow!
And I pitched the biggest fit. I wanted to see this movie. My dad's like, "All right, you want to see this movie? Fine." Yeah, two things I remember was one, while he was getting popcorn, I stuck my head into the Gong Show movie and saw a few scenes there. And then two was when we were watching the movie. I don't think I understand what was going on until this axe flew in this girl's face. And I screamed my head off in the movie theater and cried myself to sleep in my aunt's lap.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And ever since then, I liked horror movies.
You know what? One of the scariest scenes to me is it's in the light of day. It's in Halloween when Jamie Lee Curtis looks outside and it's daylight and the sheets are blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see Michael Myers' white face blended in the sheets out on the clothesline.
Oh, in Halloween.
Yeah. That was a good effect.
Yeah.
Now be scared.
Well, that's about a wrap for us, Phil. We got to go. On that note, we have to run.
All right, bye, guys.
See you later, Phil. We'll talk to you soon. That's a wrap, Bonnie. Remember, if you have good values on the inside, you won't look for validation on the outside.
Yeah, and take those good values with you for the rest of your Monday.
Yeah, have a great day, folks. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you back here. Station, the news is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.